Hi everybody, this is Property with Leonard and welcome to another episode. Now on this channel, if you are new here, we discuss property, finance and investments. Now please note that none of my videos constitutes as financial advice, but if you are looking for financial advice, please speak to an accredited and registered financial advisor. Now buying real estate is a lengthy, complicated process, so it is understandable that first-time buyers, they almost always make mistakes. But not all mistakes, and I want to bring that across to you, are equal. Now the magnitude of this decision can be overwhelming, and that is why buyer's remorse is not so uncommon amongst first-time home buyers. The best way to ensure that your dream doesn't become a nightmare is to be thoroughly prepared, and I can't emphasize this enough. Now purchasing your first home is an exciting time in life, but it can also be a complex process that requires a lot of research. For most people, purchasing their first home is a dream come true, but it can also be, and I can't stress this enough, stressful and overwhelming. It isn't without pitfalls, some of which could impact their lives for years to come. It's really a case of forewarned is forearmed, because if you have done your homework and devised a clear plan of action, you can easily circumvent costly mistakes and shop for your dream home with confidence. I would strongly advise that you watch the full episode. Watch this full episode if you are currently in the market or planning on buying a property in the near future, since any oversight or errors in judgment can significantly impact your life and your return on investment. So I've put together the 7 big mistakes first-time buyers make, with some real-world examples as well. Some of these mistakes, or should I say common first-time buyer errors, they include not having a clear idea of what you want. Now you might wonder, how is it even possible that someone don't really know what they want when they're looking for a house to buy, yet they are willing to commit and invest 20 to 30 years of their life and earnings? Well, I've been around the block long enough to tell you with confidence, this one is way up there. Although most first-time buyers will have a clear idea of the type of home in which they would like to live, many neglect to factor other crucial factors into their search, which can seriously impact not only their lives, but also cause them to regret their choices later. Ask yourself, would you prefer a peaceful suburb or a vibrant environment where there may be some noise at night? Do you need to be close to work or school? Do you have time to take care of a garden, or would a lower maintenance option suit your lifestyle better? That is why when a potential buyer contact me, I would first want to determine what their needs and wants are. What are they looking for? Do they have children? Are they still at school or at university or still at creche? Do they need to be close to these facilities? What is their budget? What is the time frame? Do they know how much they qualify for? Another important question, what are their current living situation? Are they living with their parents, or are they renting? If it is the latter, what's the notice period? The last thing that you want is a hold up, which will cost you as the buyer, because what if the house is registered in your name, but you're still within the notice period at your rental? I didn't even cover everything, and that is why I have a session with potential buyers before I show them any property. I don't want to waste, first of all, the buyer or the seller's time, and surely not mine either. The next common mistake is not being sure of what you can afford. Now, most first-time buyers will be required to pay a deposit and apply for a bond for the balance, and unless they have an idea of how much banks are willing to lend them, they are literally sitting in the dark. Now, affordability can often throw off a first-time home buyer. It's not a simple calculation. The best way to do this is by obtaining a pre-qualification, which is not only affords you the peace of mind that your credit record is in good standing, it also arms you with the knowledge of how much you can afford to spend and the type of bond deal that you can expect from the bank. Those are important points. You don't want to fall in love with a house or the area when you end up not being able to afford to buy there. Now, from my experience in the property market, property industry, I found that often first-time buyers are overly optimistic about their affordability, and merely taking your income into account. Your income is that's not an accurate assessment of your affordability. There are expenses, other expenses that will have to be maintained along with your bond repayments, for instance. Excitement is a powerful force. It can clutter your judgment and rationale. Bottom line, before starting to look for a home, a potential homeowner, whether you are a first-time buyer or not, you should get an indication of what loan you would likely qualify for. Another common mistake is not factoring the additional costs into the budget over and above the price of the property. Now, numerous costs arise throughout the purchasing process, including but not limited to some which are upfront, out of your pocket, and non-refundable, even if the deal does not go through, whilst other costs will only hit the pocket once the sale is concluded. Now, as a rule of thumb, buyers should allow for between 8 to 10% of the purchase price of the property for the additional costs, over and above the deposit, of course. It is essential that you do your homework to ensure that you are aware of all the relevant fees and procedures before you even start looking for a home. I've done some episodes where I have discussed these additional costs, and I'll leave a link to my buyer's advice videos in the description below, or you can just simply click on the banner on top. It should take you there. I've got a full playlist, and I would advise you to go watch it. Don't go there now. I still have 4 more common first-time home buyers mistakes that I don't want you to miss out on. I've alluded to the next common mistake earlier, and that is allowing your emotions to influence your decisions. And you need to be very, very careful, because intense emotions can lead to rash decisions if you are not careful. We are emotional beings, but those emotions can be pervasive, sometimes harmful, sometimes beneficial drivers of your decision making. The repercussions which can have a significant impact on your life and your pocket for years to come. If you are overextending yourself financially because you have fallen in love with a home that is beyond your budget, to help you navigate through this process, it's best to arm yourself with knowledge by enlisting the services of a knowledgeable and experienced real estate professional. That's essential to successfully and seamlessly navigate you through this potentially crippling administrative and financial minefield. It is also a good idea to show the property that you are thinking of buying, that you are interested in, to a friend or family member who knows you well and will advise you with your best interest at heart. Now, being prepared will not only minimize the stress of the process, it will also allow you to save money from the get-go, and it will minimize the possibility of ending up with a mountain of unforeseen debt. Now, the next common mistake, not making an effort to clear debt before applying for a home loan. Now, owning a home means extra expenses. The bond is not the only expense that comes with owning a house. Other expenses that will need to be considered and budgeted for include, but once again not limited to, are things like municipal rates and taxes, insurance and levies. Buying a house should never be an impulsive decision. You should plan ahead. Start by paying off existing debt, saving for a deposit, etc. Those things. Keep in mind though that you need a track record, so you need to prove that you are a responsible and reliant when it comes to paying off your debt. You need to prove that to the bank. Critical requirements are a good credit record with a track record of repaying contractual debt responsibly and being able to afford the monthly bond installment. Another common mistake is when you don't shop around for the best interest rate. Now, many people think that just because they have banked with one institution for a number of years, they will automatically get a better interest rate than from any other institution. You should bear in mind that shopping for a mortgage is simple example, it's like shopping for a car. It pays to compare your offers. You'd be surprised on how much lower interest rate another bank would offer you just to get your business. And one of the best ways to do so is to utilize the services of a bond originator to source the best financing options for you. The good news is it is free. They don't charge for the service, the bond originator that is. And their access to multiple lenders enable them to negotiate on your behalf and to obtain the best deal for you, thereby saving you money, thousands of rands, and on a lower interest rate over the 20 or 30-year bond repayment period. In conclusion, do not neglect to check out the neighborhood in which you want to buy. Now, your home's location will determine not only the future value of your investment, but also will impact many aspects of your everyday life for years to come. Because you are not, it goes without saying, you're not only buying bricks and mortar, but also a lifestyle. Do not underestimate the impact of regular inconvenience on your happiness and wallet. Often you can afford a bigger house, but in a not so good area, versus a smaller home in a lovely neighborhood or an environment. You have to weigh up the options though. But it pays to check out the neighborhood first. And don't just go at the times when the agent suggests that you go or takes you there. Drive around the neighborhood that you are interested in the evenings and Saturday afternoons. Check out the morning traffic. If there's a shopping center nearby where you can accomplish several errands at once, or do you have to drive to multiple destinations to fill a prescription or to buy groceries and have your suit dry cleaned? Simple things, but you get the point. This may seem, as I mentioned, insignificant now because of your emotions. Remember what I said earlier? Do not allow your emotions to influence your decisions. When you drive around and you see derelict buildings and boarded up shops fronts, those things are red flags, as they indicate that the suburb is under decline, which will affect your growth, the growth of your property's value, as well as the safety and security. There are lots of open spaces, which may indicate the possibility of major developments planned for the area. You need to realize that your peaceful existence or beautiful views could be marred by major developments. So it's always a good idea to check with your local planning office if there are any projects in the pipeline for the area in which you are interested in. So there you have it, everybody. These are common first-time buyers' mistakes that I've come across in my dealings with buyers and sellers, of course, throughout the years. And I sincerely hope that it was of value to you. And if it was, can I kindly ask you, if you haven't, to please subscribe to my channel, to like this video, and to share it. This is one particular video that I would really want to encourage you to share with first-time buyers or potential buyers. These things could really be of value to them. So thank you so much for joining me. And oh yeah, just before I go, subscribing to things. Firstly, it is absolutely free. It doesn't cost you a cent. And secondly, it is really easy. You can just click that subscriber button in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And please remember to hit the all notifications, and that way you would be notified and you won't miss out whenever I upload new videos. Thank you so much, everybody. I see you in the next episode. Stay blessed.